Alright guys, so here's a fun crossover that I'm sure that was kind of inspired a little bit by a certain trailer that dropped today. I'm totally not excited for a new horror movie in one of my favorite franchises of all time. Totally not. You can clearly see in this video. So yes, we have a three-way crossover between Villainous, Justice League, and Evil Dead. So we have it's a three-way crossover between these three, all under the Warner Brothers title. And in theory, you could do this as a real thing. I just want to point out, Warner Brothers, if they wanted to, could make this a real thing. Just saying. Hell, they could actually... You know what? I'd be surprised if they didn't do it. Like, I'm surprised, like, this hasn't happened yet. If they haven't done, like, Justice League versus Army of Darkness in a DC Dynamite crossover, like, I'm legit shocked that hasn't been a thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I am legitimately shocked that it has never been a thing. Like, I'm shocked they haven't tried to do, like, Justice League and, like, Ash in the DC universe. He was in the he got to meet the Marvel Zombies. Just saying, he got it, like... He got to meet it, and it was in canon. I'm just saying. Anyway, so let's get started with this crossover. So the crossover begins with Batman in Gotham, and he's basically breaking up a deal between these two smugglers. And basically, they're trying to smuggle, like, artifacts into Gotham, but Batman's kept an eye on it. And then when he when he breaks it up, he's there and he finds a book. And that, obviously, that book is none other than the Necronomicon. And the Necronomicon, when he's, like, investigating, he's like, this looks like a spooky spell book. I'm gonna go talk to somebody about this. And the first person is like, there's only one person who'd really give me information, because this is dark, evil, occult shit. Where's John? So he contacts John Constantine, and he's like, John, I need you, like, I found this book, I don't know what it is, it's in weird Latin, and he's like, did you read it? Did you read this book, first off? And he's like, no, I'm, like, this is stuff I don't understand. I went, you know, that's why I needed your advice on this. And he's like, well, what's the book? What's it look like? And he's like, it looks like it's made from human skin. And he's like, do the pages have really disturbing, scary, spooky shit in it? And he's like, yeah. What's the name of this book? And he's like, I managed to translate the title at least. It says, it's Necronomicon Ex Mortis. And the next thing he says, Constantine says, is, throw it into the fucking sun. Get Superman to chuck that shit in the sun. That is the most evil book in history. Fucking get rid of it. So Batman calls a meeting with the League because he's like, this is out of my pay grade. So he goes to the Watchtower to contact the Justice League. And for this, we'll say, like, the Justice League in here is the usual 7. It's Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern. We'll have Jon Stewart here. Aquaman, Martian Manhunter, and... for the 7th member, we'll have Cyborg here. So there's our Justice League for this story. So the 7 members are all together, and they're trying to figure this and what to do with the book. John is still like, just fucking get rid of it. We cannot let this shit, like, it literally, before time in memoriam, was the most, like, this thing caused the Dark Ages. You thought it was a plague? Yeah, it was a plague, alright. Fucking plague of monsters. Destroy this shit, man. Destroy this shit, mate. That's my best Constantine impression. Meanwhile, it turns out that one of the lackeys from one of the smugglers got away, and it turns out that the smuggler that Batman had knocked the shit out of was an in-between guy for someone else. And that in-between guy was Black Hat, who coveted the Necronomicon Ex Mortis because, well... yeah, of course he would want something like that. So the guy goes to Black Hat and is like, I'm sorry, sir, Batman broke up the meeting, and he's like, this is what happens when you set up a meeting in fucking Gotham. Of course the Batman broke it up. Well, I'll just have to go down to Gotham to to go get it. I'll just go to Gotham, cause some trouble. Maybe I'll get Cobblepot or some other, or the Joker or someone to cause a problem, and I'll go to the Batcave and get it myself. And if Batman gets in my way, I'll fucking kill him. And the guy goes, I don't know, because he might have figured it out by now of what it is, and he might have contacted the Justice League. So Black Hat is like, okay. And then he kills the guy. And that's when, he and, Dementia, Flug, 505, are all together. Black Hat has basically been, avoiding a war with the Justice League for a while. He's been, essentially, he's been dealing with other low-time superheroes and villains, but he always wanted to stay out of the limelight of the Justice League, because he was never, prepared to take on the Justice League. So, now it seems like the time, because he wants the Necronomicon. He covets the Necronomicon. So he gets Flug to be like, you are going to get us on the Watchtower, or so help me God, I will pull you inside out and strangle you with your own intestines. And that's just the start. And of course, Flug bitch cries and proceeds to use his big brain to put together a machine that will teleport the four of them onto, and several Hatbots, I should mention a platoon of Hatbots, onto the Watchtower. So they managed to do a full-on break-in for the Watchtower, and it's the Justice League and the Black Hat group all fighting it out. You have Superman trying to fight Black Hat, and he's like, I heard you have a problem with magic. And he just punches Superman. He's like, why was I ever afraid of you? You are just meat to me. And he's like, this is true. I think I could take you in a fight, Black Hat. Here's the problem. You couldn't take her in a fight. And he's like, who? And that's when the lasso of truth goes around him and starts burning, and just he gets flung into, pulled right into Diana's sword. And he's just like, oh shit, the Amazonian. And Diana goes, yeah, the Amazonian. Boom! Right through the wall. You have Batman and Dementia fight. You have Flug going toe-to-toe with he uses his technology to shut down Cyborg, and then then when he encounters Martian Manhunter, he's just basically like, match. And he's like, one little match is my weakness, but one little match is not going to do anything. He's like, I know, that's why those are specially designed matches, to ignite when oxygen is around a certain vicinity, and it just goes up and starts hurting Jean. So eventually, it's 505 who finds the Necronomicon, but the dumbass bear is looking through it and starts reading it, and we get we get Deadite 505. And of course, we have Deadite members of the Justice League also get possessed by Deadites, because now we have Deadite souls all through the Watchtower. People are getting Martian Manhunter gets possessed, Superman gets possessed, several numbers, but only leaving Aquaman, Wonder Woman, Batman as well. So the remainder of Villainous, of the Black Hat Corporation, as well as the Justice League, have to fight through to get the book from 505 and keep him from bringing down the entire Watchtower down onto the planet and drop it right on Metropolis. So they have to fight their way through the entire. They have to fight their way through through their possessed members, and it's through this it's discovered that Black Hat can he has this. Why he was never scared of the power of the Necronomicon is because he's a demon himself, and also a very powerful one who can literally rip out the Deadites from somebody and consume them for power. Batman, of course, is I don't like the idea that we're going to be supercharging Black Hat with this, but we don't have any option to save our friends. So Black Hat is just ripping Deadites and eating them and amplifying his power until they get to 505, save him, And now Black Cat's like, now I have the book, I can kill the Justice League, and I can just fucking take over the planet. Thanks, dumbasses! And Batman's like, what are you gonna do with just a cover? And he's like, cover? I think you motherfucker. And of course, the Batman's already taken the pages and shot them into space, like into the deep recesses of space. So Black Cat has to be like, fuck you guys, and just bounce with his team. Because he cannot go round 2 against a now re-energized Justice League, and the rest of his team is just exhausted. And all of his hat bots are broken. So, yeah. But at the end of it, like, if this was an actual comic or special, like, you'd see the pages floating through space, and then, someone sucks it up, and it's like maybe, like some alien passerby, and he's like, these are cool, and gets possessed by a deadite. Something like that, like a dun-dun-dun kind of thing. So there you go, guys. That is my Villainous, Justice League, and Evil Dead crossover. You guys tell me in the comments below, what did you guys think of it? Like it, hate it, comment below, let me know. Other than that, hope you all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.